Season 12 in Brawl Stars will soon be upon us, and I've got some predictions for not only the next update in Brawl Stars, but perhaps the one after that as well. So let's take a look at some of the things we will not be getting in this update first, and notably here is the newly announced Supercell Make winner, DJ Ems. And while, yes, it did win the Supercell Make competition, although personally, I was rooting for Galactic Star Ems. But with the update coming so soon, there just simply isn't enough time to create that model and put the skin in-game. So I'd look for that in the summer update, which personally, I think is going to be a huge update, but more on that here in just a minute. That's one thing that we're not going to get, but let's take a look at some of the other info that we're seeing about some other things that are going to be addressed. First off is Club League. Now, there are going to be a number of changes, and the one we know for sure was outlined in a long article that Brawl Stars posted, but here's the concise version, and that is that in Power League and Club League, there will now be individual bans. That means up to 6 bans per match. Each player gets to choose their own ban, but doesn't get to see the other player's bans. Additionally, you'll be able to suggest brawlers to your teammates while they are picking their brawlers, which is pretty groovy. Another thing that we know that we're going to be getting are some balance changes. Frank mentioned this on Twitter as well, saying that some overpowered brawlers will feel the wrath of the nerf bat. Now, he specifically mentioned Fang, which is a good call, but I'd also suggest that I'd like to see some nerfs to Daryl and Eve. I know Eve just got some, but she still needs to be nerfed more. Of course, some other brawlers are going to get buffed too, and I'd love to know who you think should be getting some changes, but personally, I think that Bo, Lou, and Shelly should definitely get some buffs because they haven't been good for quite some time. One last smaller thing before we get into the speculation is that if you bought the Verdoso El Dragon skin, you're going to be getting a pin to go along with that skin in the next update. Frank confirmed that over on Twitter. So then what might we see for the next update in terms of its theme, when it's coming, and even a possible brawler, or maybe even 2 brawlers? Yeah, I'm getting there. Brawl Stars hasn't given us much concrete hints this time around. In fact, they've been rather stingy lately. Is it because that I have been guessing their brawlers like Stu, Ash, and Colonel Ruffs? Brawl Stars? Have you been holding out on us? As for the theme of the update, I'll preface this by saying it's very possible that this prediction is not going to be in the next update, but the one after that. Actually, I think it's likely that it won't be in this one, but come back after the summer update and tell me if I'm wrong if we don't get something along the lines of Brawlerpalooza.
Yo, what the f is Brawlerpalooza?
Rude, but if you don't get the reference, there is a big music festival every year called Lollapalooza. Now, music artists from all over come and play at it. They usually hold these events in like amphitheaters, music halls, fairgrounds, parks, and stadiums. So how does this tie into a Brawl Stars theme, you might ask?
Nah, what you been smoking? That's what we asking.
Okay, fair enough, but let me explain. I always try to look at these things through the lens of what would you normally see in a theme park that's not currently in Brawl Stars? Well, one thing that we often see are like large stadiums or music stages. Now, I hear you, we've got the entertainer stage, the one within the Poco environment, but that's just like a small stage. I'm talking about a bigger arena where they hold like monster truck rallies, races, rodeos, and even stunt shows. So, seems to me that we have a brawler that might fit perfectly into that environment. This would be Stu's Arena. Now, I could see this being a new showdown environment since the scale would be bigger, but a 3v3 could work pretty well too. Another possibility is they could go with like a disco, kind of like a 70s or 80s vibe, which isn't actually disco. It's kind of retro. Anyways, in fact, what it might look like is this. Credit to Gabo on Reddit for this artwork. It's really incredible. And I know personally, I would really love this theme. And I think a DJ brawler would fit great in here. The vibe is just really cool. So then, what kind of brawler could go with an arena as well as Brawlerpalooza? Now, this is just a wild concept that I came up with in Schneiderpox Drew, and I don't have any real hints from anywhere to support this, but what about a DJ? No, not DJ Frank or like Supercell Make DJ Ems. I'm talking about a full-fledged, real EDM DJ like Steve Aoki. Yeah, we probably can't use him, so how about Floki? Wait, no, that's from the Avengers. How about Moki? Okay, you know what? My editor wants to call him Marco. I'm bad at names. Sue me. All right, don't actually sue me. You could if you wanted to. You wouldn't get much, but you could do it. Now, this brawler would have a really cool like Tron attack where you throw out 2 records in an arc that comes together and then travel back really fast. Now, if they hit a player, it would shatter, causing a small area of effect damage from the record shards. Mid-range, high damage, fast brawler. And For his super, he's gonna just throw a dance party, which Ray would actually really love. He'd start slinging discs everywhere and dealing damage to everybody around him. I think it'd be pretty cool. Now, the chances of this brawler coming to a game exactly as I thought it up are around negative 69%. Nice. But I do think that the overall idea behind the arena and some sort of DJ is plausible, or at least kind of cool. I also think that it's highly likely that we will get 2 brawlers this season. We haven't had a 2 brawler season in quite some time, and I thought we might get it last season, which of course we did not. So I think that maybe this season we just might get 2 brawlers, one at the beginning and one midway through the season. So then if we were to get a second brawler, what could it be? We haven't had many true tanks come into the game since like 2019. Just Jackie, Rosa, and BB since then. I mean, you could make a case for Ash and Buzz and even 8-Bit, but Ash has a mid-range, 8-Bit is long-range, and Buzz is kind of like a weird tanky hybrid assassin, so it may be time for another beefy short-range bruiser. I've also been thinking about some mechanics that are not yet in Brawl Stars, and one that I think that we could be seeing at some point is a silence mechanic.
Yo, I wish you would just be silent.
This ability, probably a super, would make it so that whomever got affected by this would not be able to use any abilities for a short amount of time. They could still move, but they would be unable to attack, use a gadget, or a super while they were under the effect of this silence. That's something that we don't have in Brawl Stars yet that is pretty common throughout gaming world, so I think that that might be something we could see either this update or in the future of Brawl Stars. Another thing that I think that we might see are some map features. Now, personally, I'm still looking forward to a huge map maker overhaul, because what we've got right now just is kind of like, it's kind of run its course and we need something new. I want to be able to create complete new custom game modes and like just a really big overhaul to the map maker, which I don't think is coming this update, but this year maybe, I think would be a really good thing. I've also been a big proponent of like dynamic maps, or at least elements that are dynamic in the games for some time, and I know that this is something that Danny has mentioned in an interview that I did with him as well, so I think that we're going to see something new for maps here as well. Now, he specifically mentioned bridges in that interview, so I think that that's a possibility. Like sometimes the bridge would be unpassable and then they would, change state and you could go across them. That could be really cool, but could be something completely different as well. Maybe that's new tiles, or possibly even a change to showdown smoke and how it can cover the map in different ways, like all from the left or from the right or from the top and the bottom only. Some different changes to showdown smoke to make the maps feel different, even if they weren't technically different. We've even seen some great suggestions from the community, like these ones from So Hippie HK1 over on Reddit, like conveyor belt tiles. Those would be cool. Even in the disco theme, these conveyor belts could be like all flashing different colors, which would be really cool. They would move one direction, you would move fast in one direction, but if you wanted to go back across it, you would move slower in the other opposite direction. That would be pretty neat. Or even bring back the TNT titles from Heist from back in beta. I kind of would like that. Another thing that I think that we could be seeing, although personally I think that they'll delay this till summer as it's easy content to spread out slowly throughout the summer like they've done before, are new gadgets. And the brawlers that don't have a second gadget right now are Surge, Jackie, Meg, Griff, and Amber. So I'd look to see some new gadgets, although again, I think it's going to be summer and not this update, but it could be. So that's a lot of ideas, but when is Brawl Talk coming? Well, we don't know just yet, but we do have like 12 days left in the season, and Brawl Stars tends to put out Brawl Talks on the weekend. So I think that there is a chance that we might see it like this Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. And then of course, all the sneak peeks, which will take another 3-4 days, which, by the way, if you want all the sneak peeks, all the information on Brawl Stars updates, the second you can find out about it, subscribe right here, turn on those notifications as well. So yeah, possibly an update in about a week and a half from now, give or take infinity days. It's very precise. So there you have it. My thoughts on the next Brawl Stars update or 2. So what's your take? What would you like to see? Let me know in the comments down below. And as always, until next time, I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Peace out.